I think the differences between success and failure are very, very close. Okay, so especially when you're competing at a high level, the margin is very close, and many people do, I believe, stop 3 feet from gold. Sometimes it's like you can get 98% of the way there and stop, and in your mind you'll say, okay, maybe I failed, and you don't know how close you were to success. So the reality of it is, it's like sometimes success is one more phone call, or one more email, or one more meeting, or whatever it is, after 98, failures in a row. I mean, even that, if you look at like the starting of Crisp, 21 meetings, 21 proposals. I sat down, people trying to pitch our services, and I was told no 21 times in a row. And yet on the 22nd, we got our first yes. So it's interesting thinking about, I didn't know it would take, 22 of those to get our first client. But if I stopped, when I got my first no, or my 5th no, or my 11th no, or my 16th no, or my 18th no, or even my 21st no, this company wouldn't exist today. So I think it's a very thin line between success and failure, and it's only because you just don't know how close you are to success whenever it is that you're doing something. So in my mind, if you believe in something, you're committed to something, you persist in spite of that. And there's been so many stories of so many great companies. I mean, Airbnb is a great example of this, and how many times that they were told no, how many times different investors and VCs rejected their idea, and it was over 100 times people told them this is a horrible idea. I think a lot of that is just, it's necessary resilience. Now, on the other hand, how do you know when whatever you're trying to do is just a bad idea? Because you can beat your head against the wall so many times. And I think a lot of that comes down to understanding your market, understanding your consumer, your client, their needs. And when I was talking about, let's say at the time in 2012, digital video, YouTube and Facebook, and these platforms weren't what they were today, what they are today. But I saw this stuff emerging, and I saw this movement from traditional media to digital media. I was like, there's something here. I truly, truly believe it. You see how consumer behavior is changing. So if you really do understand a market, an industry, a medium, and you do a lot of research, and you start to see consumer behavior changing, then I think stick with it, because you could be early. On the other hand, if it's just something you really haven't thought through, you really haven't researched, and you have just a hunch, I think that may be a little bit irresponsible, and you may need to be a little more diligent in the research before really betting heavily on it.